So there was a fire in my building last night. There was a fire in my building last night. So I was in the bathroom because I was folding the clothes and putting the clothes away, and Andy had stepped out to go to the supermarket. So I was by myself in the apartment, and I had been hearing this sound. It sounded like beep, 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 beep. And I had been hearing it for a while. It was very soft. I didn't think much of it. I'm in Broadway, in the middle of a busy intersection, and it just didn't sound like something that warranted my attention. So then Andy comes from the supermarket, and he comes to the bedroom, and he's saying, "Have you not been hearing that?" And I'm like, "Hearing what?" And he takes me by the hand and takes me all the way to the entrance of our apartment, opens the door, and our entire hallway is filled with smoke. And he tells me that there's been a fire in the upstairs floor. And you know what? It's really scary because if it was a real fire, and let's say I was sleeping and Andy was out hanging out with his friends and it was a real fire, I would have slept through that. Because when I go to sleep, I take off my hearing equipment. Right now, I hear nothing at all. So yesterday, while the fire was happening, all I heard was the beep, beep. And that's like one of the scariest things about being a person with a hearing disability. And it's actually one of the scariest things for me because I'm really disappointed in myself in this situation. Because there are 3 things that I need to do that I have done to keep myself safe as a person with a hearing disability. 3 things I should have done. Number 1, I have a Philips Hue light bulb that is connected to a Samsung button that I have on the door, so that when you press the button on the door, the lights blink to let me know that there's somebody at the door. It's something that I use to facilitate my own inclusion and awareness, because I don't hear that. I don't hear it, especially because the door is all the way at the other end of the apartment, so I cannot hear the door. So the Samsung Philips Hue combo that I have at home, one of the batteries is dead, and I have not taken the time to replace it. That is on me. The second issue that I have in this entire situation is that I did not have my go bag ready. So your go bag is really the bag that you have that should have all of your important information. You grab it and go. So your go bag should have clean underwear for a week. It should have, for me as a person with a hearing disability, it should have my hearing aids, extra hearing aids, my hearing aid chargers, pieces of equipment that are essential to my hearing that I need with me. I did not have those things ready. I did not have my social security card, my passport ready in my go bag. So when my boyfriend opened the door, we see the smoke, and I'm freaking out because I'm not ready. And so I'm running from the door to the bedroom. I got our backpack. I am a mess, trying to put bras and underwear, and I grab my phones and my hard drives and my social security number and my passport and all of these things that are essential. And I didn't have that ready. That is on me. And I think the third thing that has been the most scary thing about this whole situation, and that I'm really beating myself for, is that I have not taken the time to go to the fire department and introduce myself and tell them there is someone in this building, in this specific apartment, that is deaf and hard of hearing. If there is a fire, please make sure that I am safe. That is my responsibility to do. So one of the things that I am going to be doing today before the end of the day is going to my local fire department and introducing myself so that they know that whenever there's a fire again in this building, that I, as a deaf person, need to be accounted for. So, I mean, obviously I'm still in my apartment, so I'm okay. We did not have to evacuate the building, even though it was like really on the floor right above us. But I am going to let this be a lesson to everyone who watches this video, because to me, this whole experience has raised my anxiety to a whole new level. Like, if I was at home sleeping and there was a real fire and Andy had like stepped out to like do something and he wasn't coming home, that would have been really bad and that would have been really scary for me. And one of the most important things that I want people to think about, because this is something I'm going to think about as well, is make sure that you communicate with your neighbors. Your neighbors are so important. So my next door neighbor, I'm not gonna say the names, I don't know if they're okay with that, but my next door neighbors, they know about my hearing disability. I told them when I first met them, when I first moved into this apartment, I set up some time to just, you know, like introduce myself to them and say, hey, I have a hearing disability. If there's ever a fire, make sure you knock extra hard. And here's my number, send me a text message. And I'm really lucky because last night, both of them, neither one of them was home when this happened, but they're connected to our upstairs neighbors, and their upstairs neighbors sent them a text, and they sent me a text to let me know that there was a fire in the building. So make sure that you communicate with your neighbors so that whatever you're missing, they can just be like an extra pair of ears. Yeah, I feel really anxious today, so I'm going to be doing something to kind of like get my mind at ease and like work on that. I'll probably be doing some exercise later because that really helps me. But yeah, if you're someone with a hearing disability, try to make sure that you keep yourself safe. It's very hard for me to think about the idea of going to the fire department to like introduce myself and say I have a hearing disability, but the alternative of not being accounted for in a fire is like way scarier. So I am going to go ahead and do that. That's me advocating for myself. I hope I inspire you to advocate for yourself too. And finally, to close, I want to tell you about these incredible t-shirts that I have. The future is accessible, because it is. And make sure that you follow me at projecthearing.com. Get one of these t-shirts at projecthearing.com. And we just got a whole new order of size small t-shirts. So make sure that you grab one. And with all of that said, I will talk to all of you later. Bye-bye.